There's no doubt about it that by far the most anticipated Star Wars TV show of this year is indeed the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV series, and for 2023 it is without a doubt the Ahsoka Tano TV show that's going to involve both Rosario Dawson and Hayden Christensen. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, currently we have a lot of things happening with The Bad Batch Season 2. There's been quite a number of production issues with that TV show. We'll get into that a little bit later. That's exactly why you're not going to be able to see that series this spring or maybe even this summer, depending on the number of delays that are happening as we speak. There's a lot of things happening between both John and Dave Filoni to really kind of make this work and trying to get things back on track. But everything else, everything related to shows like Ahsoka and Andor, those are moving along very well. In fact, Andor is just about finished with post-production, and the Ahsoka series has been moving very, very well with pre-production. They were getting very close, by the way, for principal photography. But that leads us to, of course, exactly what's been going on between John, George, and Dave for the new Star Wars canon, and exactly what they are planning to do with the sequel trilogy by really creating all these different major retcons that are to be used in the Ahsoka Tano series and other Star Wars TV shows out there, and other projects as well additionally. Now, the thing about all of this is that John and Dave are taking things slow with some of the retcons that are being pretty much developed as we speak for the sequel trilogy to have a different view by the fans, to kind of give fans a different perception of episodes 7 through 9, and that's exactly what Favreau and Filoni are doing right now, and brings us to the subject today of the character of Rey Kenobi. Now, on top of all of this, with both John and Dave Filoni now working on the 4th season of The Mandalorian, they are also getting ready to create many other shows that are set within the Mandoverse that will be teased at this year's and next year's Celebration event. Now, it's described that currently Bob Chapek is involved with one of the most important additions to Star Wars that will make the fans happy. It's described that both John and Dave Filoni are currently developing a plan to make Rey into a Kenobi and giving her that Kenobi bloodline in the Star Wars universe to make it up to the fans. Now, it's described that a major retcon is currently being created by both Favreau and Filoni that will begin in the Ahsoka Tano series, and will also be teased in another project that will involve Ewan McGregor that will lead to Rey becoming an actual Kenobi. Now, currently, Lucasfilm's plan is to introduce one of the biggest retcons to the sequel trilogy to fans, using the Ahsoka Tano series by making one of Rey's parents into the daughter of Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's noted that Disney has extensive plans on making Rey's mother the daughter of Obi-Wan that eventually meets with Palpatine's son and creates a romance that is set to make Rey both a Kenobi and a Palpatine together, and that genetically will hold the powers of these two great, powerful characters. So let me just stop right here for 1 second before we get on to the real advanced stuff, is that we already know that this was their first attempt. I'm talking about Kathleen Kennedy and J.J. Abrams' attempt. They basically made her into a Palpatine, which, by the way, this was really Kennedy's idea that she was pushing, and J.J. Abrams was essentially forced to kind of go with the flow about all of this. But they made her into a Palpatine to justify why she was so overpowered in episodes 7 through 9, and exactly why she knew everything about the Force so fast. That was basically their way to go about doing that. But now, Favreau and Filoni are taking it to a new level. What they are doing is that they are looking at what Abrams wanted to do and looking at a specific grand idea on how to really fulfill those Abrams ideas. And that, of course, is making Rey's mother into a direct Kenobi descendant, an actual daughter of Obi-Wan Kenobi. The only thing that falls in line here that really makes people wonder, who in the world did Obi-Wan Kenobi have a daughter with? You know, it really makes you wonder. It could very well have been, the Duchess. It could very well have been somebody else, for all we know. But they are doing this, and they are making it possible within the Star Wars universe, and that's exactly what they are working on. Now, of course, we already know that Ewan McGregor has signed a multi-show deal, and a lot of this will be explained when it comes to new projects that he will be involved in. So keep that in mind as well. So, on top of all of this, further, this is set to explain why Rey suddenly knew how to use the Jedi mind trick in The Force Awakens against the Stormtrooper, and how Rey had those tendencies of Kenobi. So in case you guys didn't know about that, this was an attempt by J.J. Abrams to kind of throw in little breadcrumbs or hints that Rey was indeed a Kenobi by having her suddenly do the Jedi mind trick with no problems and no questions asked on how she was able to obtain that power. Basically, that was a breadcrumb dropped by J.J. Abrams that, hey, you know, maybe she is a Kenobi, maybe she is someone related to the Kenobi bloodline. That's what J.J. Abrams was trying to do, but unfortunately, things got out of hand. Kathleen Kennedy pushed the whole Palpatine thing, and that all got pushed to the side. So, this is an actual work in progress right now by Favreau and Filoni of making this canon, and that they are also working on completing the deleted scene for Episode 9 that was mostly filmed, that shows that Rey is a Kenobi for the 4-hour cut of The Rise of Skywalker. This big change was initiated by Jon Favreau, as he never really liked the idea of Rey's mother being a nobody, and how Rey's father being a Palpatine was so underwhelming. Favreau now is working on a solution to not only redeem the character, Rey, but to also make her more interesting by holding the bloodline of two very important figures in the galaxy. The plan by Lucasfilm is that they are making it that the Force guided both Rey's parents to meet and bring Rey into this world to end Palpatine once and for all, one day, knowing that both of their bloodlines would create somebody so powerful to stand against the Sith Lord in hiding. Favreau and Filoni are actually making this canon in new books and also in live-action form, for new shows and that deleted scene for The Rise of Skywalker 4-hour cut to be introduced as well. Now, this major change by Favreau is an attempt to also create leverage for the return of Daisy Ridley in live-action form for an upcoming project that takes place in a post-Episode 9 era that will be used for the new Star Wars universe. This is said to be all made canon by the middle of 2023 and is very involved for Favreau and Filoni. So here's another thing that I think a lot of fans need to know, is that when you look at everything related to the Kenobi bloodline, alright, they missed a great opportunity. I've brought this up several times, I'm sure that you guys are aware. It would have been so poetic if they had her as a direct descendant of the Kenobi bloodline going up against Kylo Ren, who is a descendant of the Skywalkers, alright, who was a part of the Skywalker bloodline. It basically would have been the reincarnation of the fight between both Anakin and Obi-Wan. They could have done something like that. But they missed that opportunity. But now, they are going to technically make that possible by making this officially canon, where you can look back at Episode 9 and see Rey in a different light. And they are going to be fulfilling that deleted scene and putting that into the equation and making that canon. This way it's actually visually in our heads, not just in books and comics and lines of dialogue. But they are going to be releasing that deleted scene that features Rey becoming a Kenobi, that was already shot and filmed by J.J. Abrams, but deleted by Kathleen Kennedy. Keep that in mind. So overall, I think that Jon and Dave really are doing great things. They know what they're doing. They have their heads on straight. And I think that they really are going places. I really do. Regardless of the bump in the road that was the Book of Boba Fett, I think that a lot of great things are coming. The Kenobi show has a lot of potential. You know, Jon and Dave had a little bit of a hand in that. But overall, you know, let me know what you think about all this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.